Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to episode 120 of Nintendo Talk. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by the most handsome man in all the land, Mr. Patrick McNamara, NintenTalk himself. What is up, Pat?
Bobby, I'm great, man.
How you doing, bro? You good?
I'm so good.
So, man, it's been a week, right?
Yeah.
Dude,
a little more than a week.
Well, dude, I am like so out of it. I don't even know. Like, I was literally I stopped streaming a little while ago, so I can go eat and stuff and get ready for this. Yep. And I couldn't remember what day it was. I lost the dates, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude.
You've been on vacation, right?
I've been on vacation. I'm like,
yeah.
Damn, man, I go back to work in like 3 days. I'm like, I'm not ready to go back to work. I'm having so much fun hanging out with everybody, streaming. I'm like, I'm not ready for this to end.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I kind of want my job to be like, all right, we're gonna take another week or two off, but I don't want that either, because unless I'm getting paid, I don't want to be sitting home. You know what I mean? So how about you, man? How are you doing? How's this week been for you?
Doing good. It was funny when we recorded. I think it was the 17th. I was laid off. Then I was called back like an hour later, saying, "No, you're full time." Now I'm part time. I don't know. It's a mess right now with this whole thing.
That's because they don't know what they're doing as far as financially, right? They're just probably everybody's pulling out of the hotels and nobody's staying anywhere. And
yeah, but we're considered essential because we have like the pilots and crew members staying with us. So, but I have the next 4 days off. So guess what I'm playing?
I can imagine.
Oh my God!
So normally we start this episode off with Geek Outs and all that, but I felt like there was no reason to start off with Geek Outs, because I think we're probably both geeking out about the same thing.
Yeah.
And then news, I really didn't feel like touching any news, because we just wanted to make this a special episode, kind of just more about Animal Crossing, just straight up about Animal Crossing and what we think about it and all that stuff. So we got some topics as well based around Animal Crossing. So we're just going to make this an episode and make it a thing, and we're going to do what we're going to do. But let's start off with first impressions, and I'll throw that to you first.
Okay.
What was your, like, Pat fires up the game, what happens?
First of all, it's beautiful. The game looks so nice. One thing I will say though about this entire game is you can, like, if you don't follow, I'll call it the main quest. It's not really, I mean, what Tom Nook wants you to do. You can't even play like 80% of the game.
Yeah,
It's weird for an Animal Crossing game because, like, I would say like 3/4 of your island is locked off. Mm-hmm. You know, you need the vaulting pole and stuff like that. But dude, it's so nice to look at. I mean, the characters are great. The music right now it's okay because you unlock like the hourly things. Mm-hmm. But I have a few complaints. We'll get to those later. But first impressions, like, it's a beautiful looking game.
Yeah, I mean, most people saw me stream it live. I was fortunate enough to take the day off prior to the actual launch, downloaded the Japanese version, so I had 13 hours in before I typically would have had it. You know, I typically would have had this thing, you know, same time, midnight, and I've been playing with everybody, but something in me was just like, you need to have this thing the day before. You need to be there, and you need to be, like, part of it all, and have people that have been supporting you and following you, like, there for the moment, like, as you get to experience it. And it was something, not to sound cheesy, but it was really kind of magical, man, to, like, be there streaming this thing for 13 hours leading into the actual launch. And, like, the people that were there hanging out and talking and just literally stayed there the whole night. Like, there was people that literally, they were doing their, like, their watch times, and they were like there the entire time that I was, and I'm like, this is crazy. And I only took like 2 breaks, you know. I took a couple of like quick bathroom breaks and get water and stuff like that, and then like I took a dinner break for 30 minutes, and like I literally went to the bathroom, or I'm not the bathroom, I literally went to go have dinner for 30 minutes. I come back and everybody's still here, and I'm like, wow, this is nuts. So I think my perspective of it is a little bit different than most, where my impressions are the community has been
Oh, it's insane.
overwhelming, man.
And it's like so many people have been awakened because
Oh,
like a lot of people were playing New Leaf, but it's not trending. You know, you can't really spark up a lot of conversations with New Leaf. It's an old game. But I remember you guys were, I mean, you played or you got the Japanese version. So everyone was like, how are you playing this right now? What are
yeah.
you doing?
It got
So
so bad that Raibo actually had to make a chat command, so that the mods could hit like exclamation point early. So it
yeah,
popped up and told people like, this is how Bobby got it. And if you want to do it, go here and watch this video.
that was funny.
I think he linked Joe After Work's video on how to create a profile. And
Yeah.
it was just nuts, man. It was crazy.
So
So,
I broke my kind of rule of physical games. I actually got this one digitally
mhm,
just because I didn't know what was going on with this whole thing,
yeah.
the health thing, and like I figured I'm gonna be playing this daily. So
Oh, I
like
got
why
it.
not have it digitally?
I got it both ways. I have to have the physical copy. For this game, I have to have the physical copy. Just
Yeah.
have to have it. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because, you know, I think the thing that I take from this was my ability to show people, like, this is my put up or shut up moment.
Yeah.
This is the one where I've been telling people, like, I know this game better than you do. And, like I say that I'm a Nintendo fan, and I am. I really am, and everybody knows this. I love Nintendo through and through. But like, this is the franchise that, like, dude, I can cut my teeth on. I can go to battle with anybody on, and for as far as knowledge goes about this
Hmm.
series and this franchise, and like I've just been able to like showcase that and show it off. Like
Hmm.
I literally last night got done streaming. I went on Dad's Crossing podcast, and those guys were actually like, dude, we didn't realize you knew as much as you knew. Like I'm spouting prices off for bugs, like off the top of my head. Like, oh, I'm catching this is worth this, and this is worth this, and they're like, they're writing down notes. They're like, I didn't know you could do this. I could, and they're like keeping track of stuff. But like, first impressions of the game are, truthfully, like for me, sitting back and the game gets fired up, and I'm like, just chills. Like literally,
Yeah.
just had chills because I was like, this is just madness. Like I cannot believe that I am playing this game. Not only that, it felt so surreal to be playing it before everybody I knew.
Yeah.
Like that was something that like I didn't think was really going to happen, and then when it happened, I was floored.
Because
And
like you're the first one doing a lot of things. Like usually
I'm
you have the community to be like, okay, this is how you should start. This like you're going into this like you have a review copy almost.
and I'm not even like, I'm just going in blind. Like I don't know everything that's going to happen, but I'm learning it, and I'm like
Yeah.
on top of it and figuring it out right along with everybody else. But I realized very quickly. Well, we'll get into that later on. I'm not going to talk about that part yet. But like you realize very quickly that like it's, again, the community, when actual day one of the game on the 20th, when I got to play, that's when I felt like just this embrace of like,
Yeah.
this community is something special. Like it is literally people. I'm sitting here. This is no lie, dude. I am sitting here watching, which I'll go to war with anybody and swear that I have the best community in all of
Mm.
gaming. Because man, when I tell you, literally, I'm watching Discord fire up, and I'm watching people literally help each other. Just,
Hmm.
you need this? Come, I'm going to open my gates. Like, Slimer Snarf, right? He literally reaches out to me and he's like, hey man, I live in Hawaii. I got 6 hours jump on you. If you need the store, if you don't want to sell it in your store for less money, because you could sell it at that box at the Nooks Crazy.
Oh yeah.
If you don't want to sell in that box and take a cut, you could bring it to my town and you get full price. And I'm watching him last night. Now, okay, you go, okay, of course he's going to do it for you, Bobby. Whatever. Like, you're, okay, fine. I watched him do it last night with Voide. He literally goes in it. Voide puts out a call to like, hey, does anybody have a store open? And Slimer Snarf is like, I'll be on in a couple minutes and I'll open my store up. And
Wow.
it's like, dude, this community is just so amazing and wholesome, and
Hmm.
just the stuff that they're doing, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And like, they're hanging out with me on the stream, but they're also in Discord on voice chat. Chibi, Spoopy, Edelwolf, Like there's a group of them that are all hanging out in voice chat, talking and playing. Yesterday, they're all coming into voice chat, right? This is so funny, Pat. They're all coming into voice chat and like, Bobby, you got to come to Adolf's town. I'm like, because Adolf asked me 2 times, could you come to my town? I'm like, I'm not coming to your town, dude. I got stuff I'm doing today. If you ask me again, I'm banning you. I'm going to ban you for the rest of the day. So now all these other people are coming in. Like, Bob, you got to go to Adolf's. Like, you got to see this town. You got to see this town. I'm like, finally, I'm like, all right, I'm coming. Well, you know how when you fly in, it shows you the plane flying over?
Oh, yeah.
Well, the day before, Void Egg says to me, hey, man, I'm going to make you a fishing rod. What color do you want the fishing rod? And I was like, black. He's like, okay. And he gives me the fishing rod. It's pink. So I'm like, you piece of trash, right? So I literally, like, act like I'm scratching my head, but I'm giving him the middle finger.
Yeah.
Well, they make it a GIF, right? First, they make it a GIF, and it's in the Discord. Then, they take the GIF, they make it a pattern in Animal Crossing. They're all running around with shirts on of me giving the middle finger, right? And then, like, as I fly over town, here's my face plastered all over this guy's grass.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Of me giving the middle finger, right? And then Rybo does a couple of where, like, I'm, like, acting like I got my tongue hanging out. My head's
oh, yeah, I saw that one.
Rybo, they're dropped into town as well. The guy's got a prison. He calls it the Bobby prison or whatever. There's my face on the floor. I'm like, this is... But it's just... It's so much fun to hang out with these people and do so. I can't even begin to tell you how my first impression of this game is nothing like I've ever played an Animal Crossing game before. Because I'll be honest with you, I was a little leery stepping into this one. Just because I had always...
You're kind of like, is this too good to be true?
Yeah, but I also had association with this one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I always had association with Animal Crossing with my ex and all that stuff. And I was just like, is this going to be different this time? Is it going to feel different? Am I going to be into it the way I am?
Yeah.
But then, like, these guys have literally just wrapped their arms around me. And I'm like, this is amazing.
That's awesome, dude. Like, this is... It's weird being... Because I've played Animal Crossing before. I like Animal Crossing, but I've never been on the ground floor. So it's always like... I can always look up videos on how to do a certain thing. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, I'm one of the first. Like, we're all one of the first.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. As far as crafting, because that's the brand new thing, I was a little skeptical on crafting, but I kind of like it. I will say that, and this is my first complaint really about the game, is that there's a lot of menus. There's a lot of, like, dialogue to get where you want. Like, let's be honest, like, who's making flimsy tools anymore? It's all about the next step because you want, like, longer lasting. So it's like,
you have to make the flimsy in order to make the next step.
Well, yeah.
So everybody's making flimsy, but it's still what I would like. Go ahead.
Like when you walk up to the crafting thing, you shouldn't have to answer yes, I want to craft. It should just open the menu.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a lot of just menus within menus, and some of it. Yeah, like there's a lot of pre-ramble. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a lax game, but
the one thing I don't like about the game, if we're talking about this, is I would prefer the fact of, like, if I want to make 15 baits, man, just tell me I want to tell you. Let me tell you I want to make 15 and make the 15 and be done with it. For me to have to go in and pick. Now they did speed up the process of the craft, where he's sitting there like 100 miles an hour, but like. We can avoid that. Like, I hope that this is stuff that Nintendo looks at and goes in future like iterations of the game. They go like, we're gonna pull this out. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna fix this. We're gonna change this. That would be pretty cool.
These could all be updates, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would hope that this game just evolves and changes moving forward as we go through. Real quickly though, let's impressions are good, but let's talk about where we're at. Where exactly are you at in this game?
So, I built the 3 things for the 3 villagers that are coming in, and 2 of those villagers have moved in. So where I'm at right now, the 3rd house is still, like, not moved in yet.
Okay.
But I got lucky on my villagers. So I got Stitches.
No, you did not.
I got Stitches.
Oh, you piece of trash.
I started with Hamlet. He's like cool. He's one of my favorite. Yeah. But then I started with Frida. The ugly hot dog hamburger looking thing. No. So we're getting her out. But yeah, I got Stitches and I got Sky. I like Sky too.
Sky's cool. Sky's a wolf. Yeah.
And then who's the third villager moving in is Flora,
Okay.
the flamingo.
Okay.
So I feel like I'm doing great.
That's good, man. That's good.
Yeah.
I was good, man. I got Sly, which
Okay.
I consider him. I call him Rocky because Sly Stallone. So he's Rocky, and then I had Muffy. So I had this nice little system set up where I had Sly Stallone up by me, right? He's close to me, right? And then I'm gonna train him to fight Apollo Creed, and we got to get Muffy way down at the bottom because women weaken legs and all that stuff. So I got to keep her away from him, right? We're all good. Then I pick up Sherb, right? I go to one of the islands. I see Sherb there. I'm like, yo, bro, you want to come hang out? Like, I got free time. I got nothing but time over here. We got some good people. Come hang out. Sherb comes over. I don't like Sherb because Sherb and Sly are hanging out in the middle of the town, singing together and stuff. And I'm
Okay.
like, oh, I got a couple J-Brons here. I'm not okay with this. So then some other girl moves in. I don't know who that is. I'm not even talking to Wendy or whatever, something like that. Then some pink alligator moved in. Now, Pat Sly's an alligator, right?
Yeah.
We got problems, man. We got
Uh-oh.
problems. I come out of the house and she's right by his house. Like, yo, move it along, lady.
Whoa.
Like you're not coming up here trying to like drive a wedge in between everything that's going on. Like, go back to the other side of the river where I put your house. So I don't know how you got over here in the first place. You were kind of landlocked with rivers. I don't understand what's going on. I didn't see her crafting the vaulting poles. But for me, I'm a little bit further along.
You're a day ahead, right?
Pretty much. Essentially, I'm
Yeah.
pretty much a day ahead of everybody else. Today, I'm basically in lockdown. There's nothing happening. Because once you get the third house, the residence center then becomes the town hall.
Okay.
So my residence center is there. My residence
So that
center,
was yesterday for you.
no, my residence center today is under like it's got a tent around it. Kind of like
okay.
remember how the museum was where they put the tent around it?
Yep.
But the problem I have with this is another thing that like just doesn't make sense. This is an issue. Look it. I'm just nitpicking when I say stuff about this game. I love this game. I think this game is fantastic. I have nothing bad. Ultimately, my feelings are not bad on this game. But there's some things I wish that they would just don't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
So if I go to your town, I can't use your Nook. What is it? Your Nook store, your Nook shop, whatever the hell that ATM machine.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I can't use it unless I'm a registered resident. Now, all well and good, but a day like today, when I can't even access it because
Oh, that sucks. Yeah.
it's locked down, right?
So I'm not going to have that tomorrow?
You won't have that tomorrow, which means, okay, now you got to look at big picture here. You can't buy items to get shipped to your house. You can't buy new like crafting things from the Nook Miles. You can't buy Nook tickets to go.
I got to get my Nook tickets today.
If you're going to get them today. That would be my big advice to anybody. If the day before, go buy your Nook tickets. You also can't pay back your loan. So
that's right.
I'm kind of at this point. I have a room where I'm just stockpiling bells.
Mm-hmm.
So I am on my 6th loan for my house. So I have, and this is where I get like real nutso. Like I have to pay my loans off like that. I don't play games. I have so it starts off, it's the main room. Then they expand the main room. Then they put a room on the back, room on the left, room on the right. Then
I only got the back one.
And then I got the room up top as well.
Jeez.
My loan payment right now is 1.2 million bells.
Whoa.
Yeah, Tom Nook is taking a bit of liberties with me right now.
So what's the best way for you right now making bells? Is it still going around fishing? And
No, because right now,
you're not cheating, are you?
no. I'm not cheating at all. This is all. Listen, these guys will tell you. They're watching me do the whole thing. That's why I said Slimer Snarf saved me because he was letting me go to his town and sell bells or sell stuff, which gives me the physical bells, which then allows me to go back and convert it. But if you do the box, you don't get the money till the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So what I basically been doing is, so here's the thing, right? There's a couple of islands that are, I'm not, let's just say special islands, right? When you take these island tours. So
special as in
they're unique. they can spawn a lot of money.
Oh,
And I think I could just say because everybody knows what they are pretty much for the most part. But one is a tarantula island
yeah.
where there is 5 tarantula on the middle section. There's a moat on this land, and so the first day I went in and I jumped in there and I'm like, oh wait a minute, there's a bunch of tarantulas here. Like what the hell's going on? And like I caught a couple and they got stung, and it knocks you out. And when you get knocked out, you go back to the dodo, and then you go back in, and now there's 5 again. So I literally filled my pockets up, and I pulled 177,000 bells out of that one trip.
Holy crap.
So then the next day, I go at night, and it's a bunch of hybrids around the water. And there's all these emperor butterflies, which pull 5,000 bells, I think, a piece. So I pulled 100,000 bells off of that trip.
Damn.
So the next day I go, and it's during the daytime, and it is the hybrid thing again, and there's these peacock butterflies, which are 2,400 bells a piece. And I'm like, oh, this is what I'm doing. But Hot Cheeto Puff, one of my mods, she saved me. Because she's like, Bobby, what are you doing? Don't be dumb. Don't do that. Get the hybrids. So I was like, well, why would I do that? She's like, because then you'll start spawning them at your house. So I literally went and picked up all the hybrids, took them back home, and then I planted them. And when I tell you, Pat, I literally was dropping them in the ground, and these peacock butterflies were just showing up. So
what do the hybrids look like?
They're different color flowers. So I have black tulips, pink tulips, and orange tulips. So I have those ones around my town center, right? And you go there, and it's just like they're there. It's just amazing, right? So essentially, you get this, and it basically takes on a new shape and a new everything. It's pretty impressive. So now that's where I'm making a lot of my money.
Because I'm kind of striking out with the islands, I got to admit. The best one that I had, which was really early game, it was an island full of cherries, which I didn't have because I have peaches.
Yeah.
I'm looking for bamboo right now, and I guess now I'm looking for hybrids.
Yeah, man, hybrids are definitely what you want to get. Now, here's the other thing, Pat, that we're doing as well. This is the nice thing about this community is today, Voide, he reaches out to me, and he's like, hey, man, this iron light is selling for 6,800 bells in my town. Dude, I had a whole bunch of like iron and stuff. I built a bunch of them, and then I took them to his house and sold them.
Wow.
So it's stuff like that. Like the turnips haven't really prospered yet for me. I bought them at 98 bells, and I think my max was 113 today.
Yeah, I bought mine at like 100 something, 104, 109. And yeah. I never see that's the part of the Animal Crossing I've never done before. I've never messed with turnips before.
Pay attention to my Discord.
Okay.
People are literally listing their prices every day.
Because mine right now is like 40 on my island.
They dip. I think you'll get one day where they'll get a little bit above. You might have to just jump on it and go.
What are the highest they go? Because the highest
they can go like 600 bells.
Whoa!
Yeah, you can make some money off of this.
And you have to do it by Sunday.
You have to do it by Sunday because they rot. You have to do it by Saturday because Sunday they rot.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. Okay, so the next part I want to talk about was people are just really, I think, trying to hammer on Nintendo, basically, because they are trying to tell people that you could be banned for time travel. And I'm here to tell you, that's not true. If people are telling you that they're being banned for time travel, they are full of it.
No.
Nintendo has come out in an article with the Washington Post and said, we are not banning people for time travel. We are, we don't think that time travel is cheating. We don't view it as cheating. It's something that is part of the game, has been part of the game since the GameCube. What they are trying to avoid, and this is where the confusion's coming in, they didn't put holidays in because of the streaming aspect. They didn't want people to spoil the whole aspect of like the
Thank
holidays.
God.
Yeah.
That was great.
It was amazing. Because, dude, I went to a stream the other day, and this girl was literally like a week in, like 7 days in. And what these people do is they literally start the day, they go through, they do their daily rituals, they shut down, and then they move to the next day. And I'm like, that's not the way I want to play. Like, if you want to play that way, more power to you. Do I view it as cheating? Yes, I view it as cheating.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
I've been spoiled too of further events like Tom Nook related quests.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I'm glad you don't because I like watching your streams. But it's like I saw someone yesterday that's like in winter already. I'm just like, come on, man.
Well, you also have to think too that like there's also the hemispheres, so there's that aspect. You know, like this is.
But they're not in winter.
No, they're it's rain. It's basically the same. They're in fall.
Yeah.
Right now, that's what they're in. But like I went with. Like yesterday, I went to Brendan Myers. Right, he reached out to me. He's like, "Hey man, I picked the Southern Hemisphere," and I went there and I caught a couple fish, and I was like, "Man, this just feels like cheating." And
because you're catching different bugs.
You're catching different fish that aren't out yet in my hemisphere. So I literally I caught a few fish, and then I went home, and then I thought about it last night. I was like, I don't want to do that because I don't want to be ahead. I don't want to be I like to catch. I just have rituals, man.
Do they sell for more off season?
No, they don't sell for more, but you can turn them into the museum, and then they do. But the ones I did catch were pretty high value. Like I caught a char, which is quite a bit of money, and then I caught a salmon, and they're pretty stout when it comes to money.
I caught some giant fossil looking thing today. Started with a C. I forgot the name of it.
Coelacanth.
Yep.
They're rare. You can only catch them during the rain. You can only catch them when they rain out. So that's the thing. Like I don't feel. Again, I don't feel like time travel is a cheating thing. I just don't want to be in a town that's time traveling. Now I went today to Chibi's town, and Chibi's known for time traveling.
Trash.
Wow. Oh, I can hear it now. I can hear her screaming.
I love you.
I can hear it. Oh, she's going off right now in the chat. I don't even want to look. The whole thing is just her blue colored text. She's just flipping out over there.
Here's the thing. I don't
want to look, and you just took a shot at her, and that's not the way I go because she knows how I am.
No, I'm not speaking to her directly, but I personally think that people that are time traveling right now are going to get burnt out. And they're not gonna play the game in a few months. Whereas like you and I are looking forward to summer, then we're gonna be looking forward to fall, and it's like they're gonna have the whole quest done and like everything done. I mean, you can't really finish the game, but like you're gonna have everything.
You want to apologize to Chibi? She's crying right now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And she makes a point in the chat. She said I went to her town today, and I don't want to tell you why I went to her town. But I went to her town today, and I was like, I felt like I got to get out of here. She's like, you go to my store and buy. I'm like, no, I got to get out of here. I literally left. Like, what I went there for didn't work, and I was like, I'm out. I got to go. I can't be here. Like, it just makes me feel bad. And that's just me. That's just because I like to consider myself to be somewhat of a purist. Like, look it. I
love the grind.
Oh, I do
my
too.
favorite part.
I do too. Like, I have all these amiibo cards, right? I'm not going to use them. Like, I used them for Photopia, but, like, I don't
Not even to get your villager? Not even get your favorite?
I would love to bring Bill in, but I'm just like, that's not the way you play the game. Because he's always showed up eventually. He's drawn to me. He loves me, man. Somehow, through the will of the way, he gets here. So I can't be that person. But
right now, I'm not looking at my town as, like, I need to start designing it. Like, some parts I am, but, like, I need more like things that look good. Yeah. So I don't even like where my house is, to be completely honest.
I don't either. I realized that the other day that I'm looking to get that moved as quickly as possible. And whatever.
Yeah.
So my thing to you is, you've never time traveled, right? This is something you don't do.
No.
And I don't either. Now again, I don't. I break stones, and I might say stuff to people I know that time travel. But I'm not that type of person to be like, you're cheating the system, you're a scumbag, and all that stuff. Like, my thing is like, everybody plays the game they want to play the game. Mm-hmm. And I'm okay. You play your game the way you want to play it. Because I think about it like this. There are some people, right, that only can play the game in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Well, man, if you only have a short period of time, like if you want to time travel, like let's say hypothetically, you can only play after work for 2 hours a day, right? So I get home
Then
at
it
5
makes
o'clock.
sense.
I get home at 5 o'clock. I can only play till 7, and then man, I gotta like dinner time, and I gotta put the kids to bed, and I gotta get ready, and then I gotta go to bed and get up for work, and I get it at that point. You know what I mean? Like I understand what you're doing and what you're doing. You're never going to catch every fish. You're not even going to experience everything. Then I get it. If you want to set the clock back to the morning to fish for morning fish and stuff like that, like I totally understand. I totally get it. I'm not that person to be like, you're a piece of trash. I'm not like Pat calling people trash. Like I'm not like that. That's not my way.
So what happens if, like today, you can't use your Nook thing or whatever, so you change your Switch time to tomorrow, but then you change it back like to the normal time? What happens then? Is it just read as...
It should be fixed. See, okay, so here's the thing.
I'm not trying to do anything. No. I don't know what happens to progression.
Okay, let me explain something to you with time travel. Time travel is very similar to real time travel. So if you push forward, right, and you go someplace, when you go back, it'll still kind of be like you've unlocked it, you go back, it's still there. It hasn't left. It's not going to all of a sudden go like, no. Like, it automatically fixes. You know what I mean? So, you don't have to worry about that aspect of it, like going forward and coming back. But I just don't want to do it. That's not my thing. That's just not... I want it to come to me as it comes to me. And I think I want to believe that a good portion of the Animal Crossing community is with... they're with me in this aspect of, like, I'm here to play the game at the pace that Nintendo puts it out because I love the slow, drawn-out game of Animal Crossing.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to rush through it. I want to... Here's the thing. We talked about this before. This is very, like, Breath of the Wild, where you experience it once, and there is no first time again. Like, you only get to experience this game one time for a first time. And I feel like you really need to take that in and own it. And, like, when it's all said and done, where do you stand on this all? And that's, like, I go back and I go, man, I would love to play Breath of the Wild over again. But, like, you don't get that feeling of coming out of the cave the first time. Like, you never get that feeling again. I would love for somebody to be like, Bobby, you have no more memory, boom, and I could go back and play that game again for the first time. Like, but it's not going to happen. So that's kind of like with this game why I'm like, I want things to unlock for me at my time, at my pace, at the pace of the game, because I want to experience it for the first time. I want to have these special moments on stream where people see me like literally like flipping out because something happens,
And she's saying, so there are cons. So
yes, you will lose. Weeds will go crazy.
Yep.
You will lose turnips like that. Turnips die immediately. And there used to be, and I don't know if they still do it, there used to be this giant, ugly red flower that used to bloom in your town, and you could never get rid of it. And it didn't grow every time, just occasionally. Like if you abused it, it'd pop up, and there was no getting rid of it. And it was kind of like a mark, like a scarlet letter. Like so, when everybody came to your town, they were like, "Oh wow, you got this nasty looking thing in your town that you can't move. Oh, you're one of them people."
Like for me, time traveling, I don't really mind it, but the only thing like I want people to be aware of if you're new to the series, you're seeing people with like all of these items or far progressed, and it can be a little bit discouraging because this is such a slog of a game. So it's like, why does Bobby have this? Like, I remember the first day or the second day, I was like, Bobby, how'd you get the vaulting pole? Like, I really want, but it's all about progression. It's all about doing it at your own pace. So I think, I don't know. Well, it's up to you whether or not you want to do it.
I know that like, Very Carey came to me a couple days ago, right? And she's like, I feel like I'm so behind everybody. Why are so many people so far ahead of me? And I'm like, you're taking it out of context because you're seeing me. And like, if you're a new player and you're watching me play, you got to understand two things. One, I got a 13-hour jump on you. That's massive
And she's new to the series?
Yeah, for a
Oh,
new,
so
she's
you
brand
got
new to the series.
years.
So yeah, so the fact of my experience is one, and the fact of like I have a 13-hour jump, it's lights out. You can't keep up with me at that point.
Yeah.
So you got to not look at me as the litmus test. You got to go like, okay, where do we go from here? How do you do? So now she's starting to like enjoy the game because she's not trying to keep up with me because she realizes now like she's not gonna be able to keep up with me. Like I'm
I mean,
like
part of the fun is trial and error, really. I
yeah,
mean, like
absolutely,
using your
absolutely.
slingshot and losing your presents and
No, I've done that a few times. Missing shot after shot after shot and listening to tool bags and chat break your stones the whole time.
I don't
Um,
know. I like messing up in Animal Crossing, so.
yeah, I do too. Um, okay, so the next thing I want to talk to you about is, man, it's getting review bombed. Animal Crossing. So we know that the critics gave it a 91. It's an averaging of 91. After like 60 reviews, it's pulling a 91. But then we have the user reviews. And there are 260 something positive reviews, 18 like mixed reviews, and 250 something negative reviews. And it's all ones and zeros. And man, I feel so I have to read you some of these. So I'm gonna pull.
Can we get rid of the user scores, please?
Please,
Or can
well,
we make that
it
another?
doesn't affect anything. Like overall, it doesn't affect anything at all. But it's just annoying to see that there and just go like, what the heck is
Now, I was hearing that it's mostly because you can't have multiple accounts on a Switch.
that's part of it. The other part of it is most of the people are complaining because um, player the first person to play
Yeah.
dictates what happens in the game. And there's 1,177 user reviews right now in this thing. So, like here's one. This guy gives it a 4. It's a fun game, very reminiscent to the old Animal Crossing games. However, the inability for users of the same Switch to have a different island isn't cool. In fact, only the first player on the Switch can complete assignments from Tom Nook and other characters. Not even a second copy of the game will rectify this. The only way to rectify this is to buy another Switch. Nintendo is very greedy in limiting the gameplay like this. And for that reason, I'm giving it a 4. This guy says he gives it a 0, and he says the limitations of one island per Switch, not per cartridge, which is nonsensical. It's obvious that Nintendo is just trying to sell more. So when you're reading reviews like this, I don't even think these people bought the game.
That has nothing to do with the game.
You're not
You're
reviewing
exactly
the game.
right. I'm not going to buy the game if me and my wife can't play it or like. Yeah, this is dumb.
One guy even went in today. I loved it. One guy went in today and said the second player has no thing. My 6-year-old daughter was the first player. Bro, the kid can't read. Why in the hell are you putting her as the first person to go in and play the game? Like, really? Like, why are you not going in first and then having her help you and her be the second player? Like, no. Like, what is it? Why are you even doing? My thing is a review is a review. And, like, Metacritic needs to go in there, honestly, and look at it and go, man, either shut off the user reviews or to look at it and go, these are not. Here's the thing. I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Because it all goes into one score.
It goes into one score, right?
So there should be a green score for reviewers and media, and there should be like an orange score for like users.
But it does. It separates the two, right? So you have 91, which is media, and then you have a 60 something for users.
That's insane.
It's embarrassing. Because here's what's embarrassing about it is if I really like me or you, we're on the comeuppance, right? We're trying to get in a review, and maybe we want to post our reviews in there, right? We can't. We're not media, so we don't get to put our reviews in there. That's a nice aspect that they give. But people that are actually going in and complaining about stuff that didn't buy it, and there's no way for Metacritic to know if they bought it other than the fact of read the review. You could tell these guys didn't even buy it. Like, this is stuff that people knew going into the game. You're complaining about stuff that we knew going in, and it's like you're pissed, so you're just going to throw a 0 on it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's just so silly for people to do this. Like, be an adult, just go in and give an honest opinion on the score. Now, the ones that are going like, when you're saying like, oh, I'm giving it a 0 because I can't have 2 islands, this and that, and Nintendo's greedy, dude, you didn't even buy the game. Just stop.
No.
You didn't even buy the game. But the people, and the guy that's going like, oh, I let my 6-year-old start the thing over then. She's not going to know the difference. Like, stop this. Stop this silliness.
But if you're saying like the gameplay is good, visuals are good, multiplayer, that's an opportunity. So I'm going to give it like a 7. And like, I could see that.
Yeah.
But like, imagine if you can only have one account on Breath of the Wild. Would you really give that a 0? Come on.
Nobody would have said
Ridiculous.
a single word about that.
Nintendo's done they've listened to the community to a T, fixed a lot of problems. If this is your first Animal Crossing game, bless you, because this is a great experience for you. Like, so many, there's still some things we were talking about earlier, the menus and streamlining, how to craft multiple things and stuff, but that's all minor.
If you did a review and you gave it like a 4 or 5, and these were honest complaints that you were saying what you and I just said,
yeah,
then man, I would take your review wholeheartedly and honestly and go, man, I tip my cap to you. You put time into this. You figured this out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I got like probably 30, 40 hours in at this point, right?
Yeah.
So like for me to say that this is a problem that I have with the game, like I put time in to get to that point. Mm-hmm. You didn't put no time in. You're not even telling me. And here's the other kicker. This made me chuckle. So the guy that complained about the 6-year-old, he said like Nintendo's being greedy. It's a shame because a Switch doesn't even cost the same price as a 3DS.
Oh my God,
bro! A Switch Lite is $200. A 3DS is $200. I don't know what you're smoking. I don't know where you're hanging out, but mathematics is not your thing. It's numbers. It's the same price. Like, stop. Like, and by the way, if you already have one Switch, why would you go buy another big Switch?
Yeah,
it makes no sense. Like I've told anybody, if you're buying a secondary console, you should always buy a Switch Lite. There's no reason to buy a big Switch.
Yeah, there really isn't. She brings up another point about visiting people's islands. Mm-hmm. The only experience I had with it was when I visited you and Joey, and it's very slow.
It's a slog. It's a slog.
It is insane.
It's ridiculous. It should not take that long to get to a town. There has to be a way to streamline that. There has to be a way to be like...
I get that they're like, is arriving and it looks like an airport type thing, but it got less cute fast.
Oh, yeah.
At first, it was like, oh my God, look at that.
Well, here's the thing. It's not so bad. It's really not that bad. The problem is when you're loading in everybody. Yeah, and then you get one person decides, I want to leave.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you serious, dude?
And you can like quietly leave or something?
Yeah, but it still stops everything.
Oh.
It still stops everything. So, it's kind of... That I do have an issue with. I
will say, though, I was wrong about the internet. It's good.
It's good, man. You get there, no problems. Everything's snappy. I told you, don't worry about that. I told you that because I played the 3DS, man. I knew it was going to be a problem. That was the same.
New Leaf was faster with friends, but it was a little bit of a slog, but I haven't had any performance issues. It's been nice. It's really cool, man, when you have friends and it's like, it's a whole different game.
I got to tip my cap and say, that right now, so far, the best town I've ever been to is Joey Splat's.
So far?
This kid's on point, man. He's legit. Like, I'm sitting here going, like, I got to pay off this loan. And he's like, I got to decorate. And I'm watching him go to streams and see something he likes. I'm like, hey, man, can I come buy that? Are you going to buy that? Can I come buy it? And I'm like, oh, my God.
I was watching his Stardew streams when he was doing Stardew Valley, and his towns were crazy in that. Yeah. I found something today that you would like. It's a corner of a wrestling ring.
No, I wouldn't like that.
What?
Nah, I don't want that.
You don't want to have backyard wrestling?
No. That's I thought it was cool when I saw it in the trailer. I want no parts of that trash. Keep that out of here. Keep that out of not in my Animal Crossing. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, man, what are your favorite things about this game?
Oh man, I like nighttime fishing, but that's just always been a Animal Crossing thing. I really like how there are so many unique items. Do we have a number? It has to be thousands.
Dude, it's insane.
Like every screenshot I see on Twitter or something, everyone has a different item. Like
nobody has the same stuff. It's crazy, dude. It's crazy. Like, I can't believe the amount of stuff that's in this game. They totally went over the top with this, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
wow.
will say though that my favorite thing about this game is the crafting, and I can't believe I'm saying that. I can't even picture an Animal Crossing without it now.
Yeah. Oh, that's
It's
a definite. That's a definite. Like,
in
this
the
has to be.
Nook Miles, like there's always something to do. We were talking before the game launched. We're like, they need to add in more gameplay elements to
Mm-hmm.
this game because after a while it's like, what do I do? But now it's like you have 5 infinite things to do, even if it's like catching bugs or something. Like, it's great.
Here's the thing for me. I want to piggyback on what you're saying with the Nook Miles. I think the Nook Miles is the game changer in this thing. I think
Hmm.
the Nook Miles is what they did. What they did was they looked at what Fortnite does, and they said we're adding a little bit of that to this. Literally, you sit there and they have a season list of all the things you can do, right? But then you get your daily challenges, and it's not just daily challenges. It's every time you clear one out, you get a new one on top, and it's
That's
like
amazing.
that keeps it moving, man. That keeps the ball going and moving forward. I love that. And honestly, if Nintendo says to me, man, we're going to give you a season 2 update, and that's what it is, bring it on. Because that's what
Hmm.
I want. Like, I'm clearing off some of these. Like, I'm completing some of these things. And I'm like, and the funny thing is like a lot of them don't click until you do something for the first time. Like, they're
Yep.
just blank. Like, today I got Gulliver for the first time, and that popped up, and I was like, oh wow, there's a Gulliver achievement. I love the achievement system. I love this.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I do like, although they haven't been as varied as I was like, but I like the traveling to the Mystery Islands.
Hmm.
But I feel like there needs to be a little bit more variety. Maybe later on, but
Yeah, I would like them to when I was on the Endads, End Crossing, Endads Crossing, whatever the hell the name of the podcast is.
Dad's Crossing.
That's that you got it. You got it. Sorry. When I was on that podcast last night and we were talking, I was like, man, if they were to come and be like, hey, we are going to give us $10 and this is DLC and you get more islands and we're going to make them more variety and we're making them new styles and different things. Maybe they're bigger and they're smaller and all. I'd be all for it. Like, I would
Yeah.
like those islands to be a little bit bigger. They all feel very samey. You know what I mean? They all have 4
Yeah.
rocks. They all have fruit trees. They all have pine trees, and they all have river fish and fish without and some bugs.
Like, I could see them doing like, here's a 50 item catalog DIYs for $4.99.
I'd be about that. I'd be okay with that.
I would do it.
I would do it. Like, that's stuff that I'm okay with them doing. Like,
Like a Halloween theme or a Christmas themed one. Easy, easy.
I think that, like, so with me, I think the things that I love, obviously the Nook Miles is number 1 on my list. But again, I love the fishing. When I get to just literally the other night, I streamed all day, right? And then
Hmm.
it was like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm fishing and fishing and fishing and fishing and fishing and fishing, and that's when I went to Slimer's town and sold a bunch of stuff to get me where I needed to be. And then when I was done, I literally sat there till 11 o'clock at night, just fishing. So
Dude, I love it.
then I go to bed, right? And I woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I literally had to yell at myself to be like, dude, go to bed. Because I was literally walking back out to the living room to start playing again. And I'm like, this is, man, like, I got a sickness.
Do you use bait or no?
So I did at first, and now I'm realizing that there's some fish that you probably should use bait on. Because what bait does is bait respawns.
Yeah.
So if I throw out and I catch a fish, right, now that fish is missing. So I can either run around and wait for a fish to respawn there, or I can instantly respawn that fish by throwing some bait. I'm realizing there's a couple of fish, I believe the tuna and the blue marlin, that you have to bait. Because every time that I go to the one spot where they're supposed to be, there's nothing there until I bait.
Okay.
Because I
I'm
believe,
gonna need to start making it because Joey's saying there's only some fish you can get with bait, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to start doing that.
yeah, the blue marlin and the tuna, I believe you get them off the fishing dock, and you need to bait those areas because they're never there. Occasionally, there's little ones on the sides, but like you gotta bait those to get them.
Okay. Not bad.
I'm trying to think what else. If there's anything else that I really like.
I will say though that this is the third game in the Switch's life
Cycle.
I don't know, life cycle that I've ran to my Switch to go play. Breath
Yeah.
of the Wild, Splatoon, and now Animal Crossing. Dude, it is hooks deep, man.
Yeah, man.
And I don't see it really slowing down.
No, I don't see. Here's a crazy thing. You look at Twitch, it has exploded. There are people that I never thought would be playing this game that are playing this game. Now, some of them, I'm sure, they're playing it because it's the hotness and everybody's playing it, right? They want to be part of the conversation. We'll find out next week who's real and who's just doing it to be part of the conversation. But man, like, it is madness.
And now you're starting to get the patterns. Everyone's going crazy with patterns. I don't have a 3DS anymore, so I can't scan them in.
Oh, Patrick, see, let me explain something to you.
Oh, you can use the app, right?
There's an app on a website that these guys got, and you got Rybo going ballistic. Like, we gave it to him, and he's disappeared off the face of the earth. He only emerges to drop a pattern of somebody's face.
I gotta make my Rays hat, man.
It's crazy, man. These things are unbelievable what these guys are putting out, and it's only going to get better, man. It's only going to get better. I look at this, right, and I go, like, the crafting is pretty cool, but I think the thing that I love, to me, it's got to go Nook Miles, number one. Number two has to be the fact of, like, being able to put everything where you want it to be.
Dude, it's amazing.
And then not only that, like, he's like, hey, you got 3 people going to move into town. And by the way, I need you to then build these furniture pieces before they'll move in. I love that, dude.
I loved it.
I thought this was so amazing to actually just not go like, it's just not like, hey, this person, because here's the thing. You could slow the pace of the game even further if you wanted to. If you didn't want to rush through those houses, you could literally go, I'm just going to build this one today. I'll do that one tomorrow. Do that one the next day. Take your time with it all. You know, it was just like, you could literally just, this game gives you the opportunity to just pump the brakes a little bit. And I love that about it. I really do love that about it.
I think I'm going to go like full force for a while. And then once everything's built and I have like the town hall built, stuff like that, I'll push the brakes. But I want to see all these items, man. Yeah. Like I've been getting some cool items. I got like a karaoke machine. Like, dude, it's nuts.
Last thing I want to talk about before we wrap up today. Can Animal Crossing be Game of the Year in 2020? What's your opinion?
Oh, man.
I mean, there's competition coming. There's competition definitely coming. You have Doom that's up there going to be up against it. You probably have Last of Us Part 2 going to be against it. But does this have the opportunity to at least get nominated at the Game Awards this year and potentially have a chance to win it? What's your opinion?
Nominated, yes. Winning, I don't know. Because Nintendo games are known to get, the bad end of the stick. We've seen Xenoblade not even get nominated for RPG. Smash, not even like. So I want to say yes because I feel like it's such a great entry in this series. But realistically, I don't know. I think Doom, from what I'm seeing, from what I'm hearing, looks to be the one to beat right now. But you have the other consoles releasing later this year. I think it has a good chance, especially with what's going on in the world right now. Not a lot of games are coming out, but I would love to see, like, this would be like mainstream, man. Yeah. We'll see the sales. I don't think sales are out yet.
Sales aren't out, except they are in the UK, and right now this is beating Doom in the UK. They don't have the official numbers, but they are saying that Animal Crossing is beating Doom right now, and that to me is crazy for a couple of reasons. One, the UK isn't always necessarily a Nintendo first region. Normally,
they're a wild card.
They're definitely a wild card. Like North America, they're even sometimes a wild card, but a lot of times they'll lean Nintendo. Japan, they're always Nintendo, and that just is what it is. But like a game like Doom, you could absolutely see it going both ways here, and Animal Crossing beat it up pretty good, which is pretty.
Have you seen the prices of Switches right now?
No, I heard they're sold out everywhere.
Yeah, like $450, $480 on Amazon right now.
Wow.
I think it's because of what's happening, but like
you can't get them right now. They're sold out.
That's nuts, man. Joey's saying 3.5 million first weekend. Is that UK?
If that's the UK, that's insane.
Then my prediction will be true. About 10 million the first month.
If that's the case, if that's just the UK, if that's not all three regions, that
has to be all three.
That's got to be all three. What is that, Joey? Is it all three or just the UK?
3.5.
That is nuts. That's the weekend, dude. That's 2 days. That's just the UK. Oh my god.
No.
Dude, could you imagine this game doing 10 million the first weekend?
I'm getting the physical copy as well.
Dude,
but
I've already bought. So I've bought 4 copies of this game so far. And I'm getting ready to buy my 5th copy tonight for my niece. Because my niece reached out to me today. She's like, how do you like Animal Crossing? I didn't get it. I'm like, what do you mean you didn't get it? She's like, money's a little tight. I'm like, you get home today, you text me.
Not counting digital sales.
There's no way. 3.5 physical only?
Digital, I think, is going to be higher.
Oh, yeah, dude. It was number 1 in their eShop right out the gates. Holy Christ, dude. This game could do 15 million. That can't be. If that's the numbers, I mean, I'm not calling Joey a liar at all. But I mean, if that's legitimately, if what he's reading is like not, I just can't even fathom that, dude. I cannot even fathom. New Leaf only did 15
Japan's going to go
Japan
crazy.
is going to be double that.
Yeah.
Like, I bet you if that's just the UK.
Yeah, Japan was more than
Pokemon. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's lights out, dude. This game's going to do 15, 20 million first weekend. Or first week. This is nuts.
God.
Dude, this was the perfect storm for Nintendo. I mean, we talked about at the beginning of the show before we went on the air. And you said it, like, you don't want to look at it like there's some bad stuff happening right now. But, like, this was the perfect time for Nintendo to put this out. Like, and nobody could call this. Nobody could be like, hey, there's going to be people actually locked in their houses for months, possibly. But, like, if you're going to be locked in your house for a good period of time, this is the game to have, honestly. Like, it's just a laid-back, chill game to have.
So, Bobby, I know we're all pumped up about Animal Crossing right now.
He said, oh, my God, I'm sorry. I guess he might have messed up. I don't know what he's talking about.
Top 3, 3.5.
Oh, it's 3.5 times the New Leaf launch, which sold 475,000 in one day. So it still did over 1 million. That's 1.5 million. That's pretty good, man. In a weekend, that's pretty good. That's just physical. So honestly,
so you might be right with the 3.5.
It might be 3. It might be 3 million by the time it's done all together overall. Honestly, so
yeah. Okay. Top 3 Switch games.
I mean, for me right now, Animal Crossing, Breath of the Wild.
Whoa!
Animal Crossing, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon. That's it for me. That's a wrap.
I think those. Well, I definitely share the top 3, but I think Breath of the Wild right now is still 1.
I could say without a shadow of a doubt, for me personally, this is better than Breath of the Wild. This is for me. I'm going to bury the time in this game compared to Breath of the Wild.
Whoa!
I could read the tea leaves, man. It's real simple. By the way, are you getting Breath of the Wild vibes with this game at all?
Yeah.
The breaking of the tools.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that.
That bothers me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie.
I think the thing that bothers me the most is that you have to make a flimsy. Why do you have to make a flimsy tool and upgrade it? Why can't you just?
Why can't they just go? You got to make this, and in order to make this, you have to have these tools from the flimsy, plus these tools for the axe you want. Like if you want to do a flimsy axe, right? You have to make a flimsy axe first. So why can't they go like in order to make a flimsy axe, you got to have 5 branches, right? So you're going to take the 5 branches, add it in with the 5 pieces of wood, and then the stone or iron. Like that would be the way to do it, and that's what I hope. I mean, look, when Minecraft first came out the first time, they didn't have all the answers either. It was very difficult to craft in that game. And then they made some changes, made some adjustments, and now that game's unbelievable, you know? So,
I oddly like it, though. I oddly like that they break.
They can... Joey's saying gold tools break.
Really?
If gold tools break, man, I'm going to be pissed.
Those must take a long... Because I feel like the iron ones take a decent time. Like, I can go through, like, most of the day.
That was always the thing, man. You always went for the gold tools. I don't know. I'm not messing with that stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about that stuff because that's spoiler stuff. It's gonna aggravate me. Now you got me mad. Forget it. This game's the worst game of all on the Switch.
Worst game ever.
I'm out. I can't.
Arms is better.
Arms is better. Arms is number one. Can't do it. So anyway, that is all. Thank you guys for watching another episode of Nintendo Talk. We're listening to it, however you got this thing in your ears. Be sure to check out everything that Pat is doing over on the interweb. Check him out on Twitter at NintenTalk. Also, youtube.com/NintenTalk. You check me out Instagram, Twitter, and on Twitch at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Bye.